G'day, Michael here. I've got a heap of printers running at the moment, but it just came to my attention that we have, with various slicing packages, probably the best one for doing the problem I'm dealing with right now in the way of slicing programs is in fact Simplify 3D. However, I found a completely different approach may actually be more beneficial for a lot of reasons. Now, this part here is, I'll just go back to the 3D view. I've actually, in the design, put these supports. Now if I get the right angle here, we might be able to see the gap. Where are we? There's a tiny little bit of a gap in this neighbourhood here. So, maybe you can pick that up. I'll just... no, go away. Is that? It's pretty hard to show. Okay, I'll go through, maybe I'll go to the 3D CAD program. There we go. Okay, so what I got here is there's a tiny gap. See a bit of blue space. Let's just see how much I can zoom in there. There you go, you can see that bit of space in this area here. That's 0.2 of a millimetre gap I've left there. Now I've decided to put the supports that I want in the design. And the advantage of putting them into design is if at a later date, 6 months later, you go to print this again, you won't forget the supports because they're built into the design. So you can come back, do the slicing, whatever, and there's a good chance you won't have any failures because of some silly thing you forgot. The supports are built in. So I'll just make that one invisible and that one invisible, just make them disappear. So here's actually the design. And you can see when we go to slice, there'd be an area. Change that view mode. It's rendering. There we go. When we go to slice, what the slicing packages do is create like a couple of perimeter paths depending on what your specifications are. But I want 2 perimeters on this. I've got a 0.6mm tip doing the print, so it's able to do a pretty wide track. And that's why I need the support to support basically 2 tracks, because it will do the track that's away from the surface, and then it'll do the fine surface track. So let's have a look at the slicer again so you see what I'm talking about. Go back to the... Okay, lift it up. Oops. Where are we? There we go. So you can see there's the supports underneath, and there's actually another track. Let me just... There's another track that's partially supported. Maybe I'll look at it from above. Oops, other way. My CAD program and slicers zoom and pan is the opposite way around, so my brain's always having to switch into reverse. So we just go down pretty low. Any time now. Okay, so there's... You see the supports. I'll just zoom in. So there's our supports, which are done as very wide tracks. And there's our first layer. There you can see you've got 2 tracks here which kind of land either edge of my support, and there's a 0.2mm clearance. And so what you have is that that should be partially supported but not really that well stuck. So these supports that I've designed should break away quite nicely. I've done that on another design. Let me just maybe, what's the best way of looking at that? Okay, I'll go into VariCAD, open printing, that should do it. Okay, so here's a built-in support as well. This rectangular piece, again, I'll just get rid of the editing rendering. Okay, go away. So now what you can see there, if I zoom in close enough, you can see there's actually that 0.2 of a millimeter clearance, and the same above. So that's adequate for me to have a breakout support in that section. If I let the slicing packages do that, they end up supporting a lot more than necessary, and it makes it very difficult to manage. This support here is because on the printers that I've got very good print cooling, I don't need this particular support. but not all my printers are created equal. So for safety's sake, I put this block in, and it means the machines that don't have decent cooling will still print this part reliably. So if I have to print quite a few of these things, I can use a number of printers to produce an identical part. So you can see it's a simple part, except for this area here, and this needs support. But anyhow, this minimal amount of support here is enough for any of my printers to print this part reliably. But that's built into the design, so I can't forget it when I go, in 5 months' time I want to print another batch of these or whatever. I won't forget myself, because the supports are actually in the design. So I hope that's of interest to you. I don't know how else to explain this other than what I've just done. But using the slicing package to generate supports is not as desirable as having it built in the design. So a little bit of clever design. You can design in your supports and design in exactly how well you want them to break away by simply understanding what it is you're doing. Well, I guess that's it. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, ask a question, leave a comment. Bye for now.